Oh my goodness, you mid-century people are going to flip out.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are in thrift store number one. Look at this beautiful hand-painted glass shade. It doesn't have any base to it, and it wasn't very expensive. I put it in my cart, and then I think for some reason I just wasn't in the in the mood, and I put it back. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the kind of thing I didn't have any particular light fixture to use it with, and I really should have bought it. Take a picture, put it on eBay, let it sit there. It might sell in a month, it might sell in a year. But I just ended up putting it back. There's a piece of silver crust with a big old. I think that was either chipped or it was just filthy, and I didn't buy that either. By the way, there's no intro and there's no cat on this video because I went and deleted my little shortcuts for those. So I'll go back and get them. Now I'm pointing. Can you see in the, I don't know if it shows up. I'm trying to pick out the yellowish colored glass, which is an indication of old Pyrex. And there it is. And you can see it from a distance if you're into the old 30s bakeware. We talked about that yellowish tint, which is actually in the glass. So that was a Pyrex casserole dish, and it's missing its lid. And then there's a big platter. Look at that. That's old Pyrex. See the mark there? That's one of those old, that's one of the original marks that they had, stamps that they had for Pyrex, which goes back to 1915, but that's probably from the 30s. I don't know. I wasn't sure if anybody would want to buy that or not. So I didn't purchase it. An airplane just went over, and I'm sitting on the front porch doing voiceovers on account of all the music. Now I'm at another thrift shop. This time, I believe I crossed the river, and I'm in Pennsylvania. And I apologize ahead of time. Some of this footage is wonky.
People ask me, how can you tell the difference between the old carnival glass and the new? So the 1905 to mid-20s carnival glass, as opposed to the 1960s and 70s. Well, this is the 1960s and 70s. It's just glaring to me, and anybody who really spends any amount of time with the glass, you'll be able to tell. None of these are all new molds, meaning they were created in the 60s and 70s. But these were not old original molds like would be in with the Fenton factory or Imperial, right, Millersburg. And if I remember, I think this is Indiana. I don't buy and sell this, so I can't remember if it's Colony or Indiana or what, but it's the newer 1960s glass. But it has a very, again, I'm not really good at explaining the differences. It just seems to be, it's almost more of a shiny metallic finish to it. And doesn't really compare to the old. Now, I'm not criticizing it, I'm just pointing out the differences. Personally, I really like the old Carnival, but a lot of people remember this because when Carnival became popular again, when it was being highly collected in the 60s and 70s, this came on the market, and many of our grandparents had this kind of thing around the house, and so this Carnival glass does bring back good memories for quite a few people. Anyway, they're asking $10 each on these pieces. And what do you think? How do you tell? When you look at the surface of the glass, besides the fact that they're not old molds, how do you tell the difference? Okay, that's that.
Now take a look at these two glasses. I recognized them right away as what would have been part of a lemonade set. And the Victorian era, well, 1910, would have had a great big pitcher with it and several tumblers, and all that paint is original on those. And then most of the glass companies made lemonade sets back in those days. So into the cart it goes with some other things. I know that you see a wearing blender. And look at this mug. Check me out. Ha ha ha. That's kind of cute. Let's take a look at these little EAPG. I hadn't seen these before. There's just two of them. These little stems. I like them quite a bit. Ah, there it is again. Now I'm shagging my finger at it, waving my finger at it, and saying, "Oh, look at this. Woohoo!" And boy, this was a great find. It's Heisey glass, and it is marked the H in the diamond. We're going to look at it in another video. Gravy boat. Now, Heisey would not have done the silver overlay. They did sell their glass in the 20s and 30s to various decorating companies. And it, excuse me, it looks black on there, but it cleaned up beautifully. Wait until I show it to you. Wonderful. Now here's a nice bowl, and I'm going to zoom in. Sometimes you'll see the word near cut, press cut, art cut. You'll see different. See it there in the center? And various companies, such as Imperial and so forth, use different names for their pressed glass, which wasn't cut. And so sometimes you'll see it marked that way. And then here's a piece from the 30s with a diamond pattern. Now remember, there's lots of these diamond patterns out there. Hocking had a couple of diamond patterns, and so did Jeanette. Oh, there's lots of them. This is a little jam jar there with a chrome top and a place to put a spoon in. And now I'm out of focus. Oh, there's a crisscross Hazel Atlas refrigerator dish. Waterford is a pattern that Hocking made. It has nothing to do with Waterford crystal. But you'll often hear people say waffle, Waterford waffle, but Hocking didn't call it waffle, as far as I remember. Those are the new reproduction jars there for the kitchen. And that's not old, I don't think. No, it's not. I like the colors and the shape. It reminded me of an old-fashioned mug. And all this old plastic. I usually don't mess with that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now, at first I thought, oh, wonderful. We've got some Florentine pattern plates, but I looked them over and they're not, because they're actually etched rather than molded. So this is good. Now, this is either, it's probably a Fostoria etch or a Cambridge etch. I have to take a closer look, but I have 8 plates, and then that's very common. I don't even bother with that plate, that one single plate. But those yellow depression plates are good. They're polished on the bottom, and they're etched rather than molded. Haven't seen any mission furniture lately. Nice mission oak. It's too bad the poodle sat in the chair and chewed it up. Somebody chewed it up. So, wasn't in the mood for that. I like mission oak. And from Japan in the 1930s, here's another little breakfast set, lemonade set, water set. And it had all of its little cups. I'll let you see the 1930s mark on the bottom. It has a lot of staining there. Do you see that? The crazing doesn't bother me, but And they wanted $30. Now, you can get some of that staining out, but I wasn't going to pay $30 for that. Can you hear the birds? This is a pretty pattern. I'm sitting on my porch and I have the screen open. I don't know why I do, because it's pretty chilly today, but...
Oh my goodness, you mid-century people are going to flip out. You and I both know exactly what that upholstery feels like. Can you imagine? It's 1967, 100% humidity, and you're in short pants and you have to sit on this. Wow. Oh my goodness, what do they want? Turquoise colored chair, $99 for the chair. Now, boy, the upholstery would have to be cleaned. I'll tell you what, if I had a warehouse, I would buy this, because some mid-century person is going to absolutely flip. Wow. So there's one chair, and there's the matching chair in cream, and this one as well says cream colored. Now the upholstery is dirty, so you'd need a professional, really, with some type of I don't know, hot glue gun, not a hot glue gun, some type of a hot cleaning machine thing, because you'd really want to clean this upholstery. But oh my goodness, what did they want for the sofa? The sofa is $250. So what a steal. This is just classic. Let me back up and let you see the whole thing again. Wow. Now, it's not my style, but boy, do I appreciate that. Let me take some pictures of it and send it to my mid-century friends. That really is a steal. And other than just cleaning that upholstery, oh my gosh, I remember what these, even the sound. You remember what this stuff feels like? Oh, I certainly do. Because there were chairs like this when I was little still. I was born in the 60s, and so we still had old furniture like this. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then this monstrosity. Ooh. Okay. Wow. Now that is so cool. Have I shown you this before? I don't think so. That is deco. That is 30s deco. Little china closet thing. Book matched veneers up here. It needs to be repaired. But look at this fretwork in here. I love it. And some inlay here. Let's see how that's just one big drawer that opens up. Boy, I bet the whole outfit was sweet. $65, but almost nobody wants this stuff. Me and like 2 other people. Okay. We have talked about these lamps before, and I know that the silk lampshade is missing from this. These glass diffusers were never meant to be seen by the naked eye. They always had a shade over top of them. So these would always be hidden. I keep meaning to do some antique lighting videos about that, and it's one of those things. I haven't done it yet. So I don't see any lamps over here that I would have any interest in. And I don't know. We'll take a walk. And let's try to name the decades. That would be fun. Okay, so we started with the 30s deco. This is just, pretend furniture. Where are we here? In the early 80s? Probably. This is some like reproduction barrister bookcase things. This has been here for a while. This is homemade, this old pine piece. And ooh, Hello, 1974. And is this a big console stereo under there? I can't tell. And then the 40s. The 40s and the 50s. And that looks like some type of entertainment center thing. Some more pretend bookcases. You know what I mean. Oh, now that's the back of something old. Before we look at the front of it, let's go see if we can see where it was made. The National Furniture Company of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Okay, number 45, that probably stands for walnut. And I'm trying to see if that says chifforobe on it. Okay, I cheated because we were supposed to go down that aisle, but let's go see what this thing looks like. That's a chifforobe, all right. Made for houses like the one I live in that ain't got no closets. Yep, I could actually use that, I can tell you that. Yep, so for hanging your clothing. And sometimes there'd be drawers. Yeah, see there's drawers on the right. And then a place to hang some clothing on the left. This is a small one. But anybody who lives in an old house in the 20s and 30s, you had to have that kind of thing. Or there was no place to put your suit coats or your dresses or anything. Ooh. I've always thought that to be a kind of an odd design. I don't know what this fountain thing is over here, but I'm not going to touch it. Is it one of those things that squirts chocolate out? Maybe not. I don't know what you do with that. I'm going to back up here, and I think that's it. Yeah. Well, sometimes you strike it rich, and sometimes you go home with nuttin'. We're going home with nuttin'.
Look at the cute little baby warming dish, Little Boy Blue. I think everybody knows that you put hot water in there and you seal it up and it keeps the baby food warm. $4, these are cute. But it was chipped. And I don't know, I guess somebody out there collects these. Anybody collect them? There's not a whole lot you can do with them except feed a baby. Be cute for a little cat dish, I guess. And how about that? Yep, they're all there. You know what they are. Now, what's the price on? Oh, $2 each. That's fine. You can find them online, but that's okay, the price. The inserts for the Manhattan, the Anchor Hocking Manhattan serving tray. And there they are in ruby. I think I've got a set, but I picked up that second set anyway. Now, I just don't know. These sort of snack set things, I kind of don't like it. I guess I don't like my teacup touching my food. I find it to be a rather odd design. I mean, how do you keep the food away from, like, getting all over the bottom of the cup? I don't know. I guess it's so you can go out in the living room and eat. Now, these are big, so they're not dessert plates. They're big dinner plates, and I kind of don't want my cup on my dinner plate. Maybe I'm weird. Am I missing something? I don't know. Very exotic there. But really, what would you do with those great big dinner plates with the teacup sitting right in it? It seems It's like a strange design. This was nice. The glass was missing, but that's the old paper that would have been underneath it. And I see a baby sticking his head out. Or her head out. I don't know. I guess it's a girl. Maybe it's a boy. In a nice little frame. People like to collect those. I can't see the price on that. Is that $15? I think it's $15. I know I didn't purchase it. I've got a couple of them already that I haven't sold, that I have not put up for sale. I'm sure there's a collector for those out there. Oh my word, here we go again. Okay, we're in that sort of French provincial, yeah, 1960s, 50s, and 60s. So, was your grandmother the mid-century mod type, or was she the French provincial type? Super fantastic. I found a green basket. I know fantastic and basket doesn't really rhyme, but I tried. No damage on it. It's going right down in there next to the piece of Heisey glass. So obviously my clips are out of order because I've gone back into an earlier store. Yeah, this is that store that splits everything up. Here we go again. You see the prices? And they've gone and they've split this entire set up. And then they're going to make you pay, you know, by the time you put it all together, you've spent $40 for that set. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yep, you already know that I picked that up. And it was actually, I had a discount. So I was able to get that for less than the price tag that's on the top. And of course, it's quarter sawn oak, dates to about 1910 or so, and somebody already painted the bottom of it mint green. We'll look at it again in a minute. That, I think is another piece of Heisey. Now that piece isn't marked, I looked at it, and I think they had a colonial pattern. Sometimes you'll find the H in the diamond and sometimes you won't. It's really beautiful glass. Very nice quality glass that picture is. This was nice as well, but I think it's chipped. Yeah, right there. Yep, and it was cut as well. Partially cut. And it wasn't cheap. Oh, we're going to look at that again as well later too. That's a nice English piece. Well, I guess we're going to let you see it now. There you go. I have to do some digging on that, but I think that's from the 30s or the 40s. How about some doilies? They got the Good Housekeeping seal. Oh, some crafter's gonna love that. Look at her. What year is that? Let's see. 1954. How about that? Oh, you know I threw those in the cart. You never know when you're gonna need a doily. I liked these little sort of 60s Christmas trays as well. They're kind of neat. Well, sometimes you see something and you just can't resist. I did rescue this poor little table today from the thrift shop. It was $15. Now, guess what? I didn't paint it. Somebody else already got there first. It's antique oak. In fact, you can see the top
Thankfully, they didn't paint, and it's beautiful quarter sawn oak. The table itself dates to, the 1890s to about 1900, and there's just a hint of the old stick and ball decoration there on the table. These casters are not original. In fact, they're not even appropriate for the table. This table would not have had casters on it. I'll probably pull them off. But someone put this minty green paint on it. And I thought, you know what? Why not drag that home and put it on my front porch? You know, I'm just playing around with furniture. Remember, it's all a work in progress. Nothing that you see is staying. I always have to say that because people make all kinds of comments about, oh, why did you do this and why did you do that? You ain't seen nothing yet, folks, so don't worry. The rug, the carpet, everything gets moved around. And if you've been watching my porch videos, you already know that. But you know what? The reason why I was okay with this is because it would not have been uncommon in those days for people to paint furniture that was out of style. In fact, all the magazines in the 1920s and 30s taught you how to do that. In fact, some of the magazines, the Good Housekeeping and American Home and so forth, they would have had you cut the stick and ball off, and they probably would have had you cut it off right here just to give it more of a cabriole leg and make it look a little bit less Victorian. And maybe even get rid of this little, not really egg and dart, but this little bead molding on the side to modernize it. So yeah, this house, 1925, this table would have been a good 25 years out of style. And a housewife or a husband could have painted it and put it out on the front porch. So since it already is porchy, I decided to keep it. It actually matches the paint on this old 1920s lamp beautifully. Now, I have not yet put the silk back in here. That'll have to be done. But this is an original lamp from circa 1930. It's got its old socket. I've got to fix the chain and do all of that. But I just thought I'd show you that I went ahead and brought that table home, and I'm probably going to be using it out here somewhere. Haven't decided where yet. That might be the light fixture that gets hung. I have not decided about that yet either. So it's all a work in progress, but I think the table looks fine. I'm not even going to strip it. I'm leaving it like it is. And what say you? I like it. I like it.